Thank you, ma'am. I have one question about foreign policy and then another about COVID here. So the first one is, in tapes obtained by the New York Times, Iran's foreign minister says that former Secretary of State John Kerry informed him that Israel attacked Iranian interests at least 200 times. As the secretary has shifted roles, he still continues to represent the United States on a world stage. Does the president have any comment or reaction to Kerry telling the Iranians about covert military action on the part of Israel?
We're not going to comment on leaked tapes.
The next one, it gets a bit worse. Former Secretary of State John Kerry, Biden's climate guy right now, recently was reported to have sold out Israel, America's top ally in the Middle East, to, guess what, Iran, the world's leading state of sponsor of terrorism. In a recording of Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, the release of the comments by Mohammad Javad Zarif set off a firestorm within Iran. Here are the main takeaways. Mr. Zarif said John Kerry informed him that Israel had attacked Iranian interests in Syria at least 200 times. Zarif said the Revolutionary Guards Corps called the shots, overruling many government decisions and ignoring advice. He also says that by assassinating Qasem Soleimani, the commander of the Guards' elite Quds force in Iraq, the United States delivered a major blow to Iran, more damaging than if it had wiped out the entire city in an attack. Secretary Mike Pompeo responded on Twitter saying, quote, "You don't have to take my word for it. Ask at J. Zarif, President Biden still thinks it was a mistake," referring to the strike on Soleimani. Now the recording says if Iran hadn't become Mr. Donald Trump's priority, China and Russia would have become his priority. And if because of hostility with the West, we always need Russia and China. They don't have to compete with anyone, and also they can always enjoy maximum benefits through us. The recording also includes Zarif offering criticism of Guards General Qasem Soleimani's separate relations with Russia as well. Of course, there are more to the recording than just this. Does Iran feel that the current administration is in a state of, I'm glad Trump is out, otherwise we're screwed? That begs the answer.
One last question for you. You have some visitors this week from Israel intelligence group, I think led by Yossi Cohen of the Mossad and some others. Who are they seeing in the administration? And do you plan to be conveying, or do officials plan to be conveying to them the thought that Israel may be actually actively undercutting your effort to get the Iran deal back together?
I'm happy to get back to you as we try to be transparent around here, who they're meeting with, and check with our national security.
Well, I think
team
it's very
about that.
disturbing. You're right. We've heard reports like this before that's gone out throughout the entire 4 years of the Trump administration, where people from the previous administration, certainly the most notable being Secretary Kerry, worked with our European allies who were party to the nuclear deal and also with Iran. I think that the basic premise of what was taking place is to resist the U.S. policy to strengthen Iran's spine.